हेलो।
साक्षी, बेटा पहुंच गए?
हाँ जी पापा, पहुंच गई
अब
हूँ।
यहाँ से आगे कैसे जाओगे?
दूसरी बस मिल नहीं रही है, मैं सोच रही हूँ आगे चल के जाऊँ।
ठीक है बेटा, ध्यान रखना अपना।
ठीक है पापा।
Actually, Gudiya made a very wild beginning. It was all very spontaneous. In my first year of college, I attended my cousin's marriage, and there I saw a woman dancer from the red light area giving her performance the whole night. And the way people treated her, the way things were happening, I didn't like it, and I very spontaneously told her, what if I adopted children? And that was the beginning of Guriya basically. First and foremost, I see is like people always think it has happened to others, it's not going to happen to me. That is one very critical point to be addressed. It can happen to anybody and everybody. And the second very important aspect is people believe generally women are part of this whole sex trade on their own, and they don't not understand the whole criminal nexus involving sex trafficking. Basically the traffickers, the brothel keepers, the pimps, the police, politicians, they all combine to perpetuate this whole the crime of sex trafficking and child prostitution. First, diagnosis of the problem is important. So the women in the red light area are not criminals, they are victims. And when you move with that perspective, I think you really make solutions. We were almost one of the pioneers in this field of fighting sex trafficking and rape. So we actually did not know where to start from, where to hold the snake from, okay, the head or the tail. So it was one challenge. And another biggest challenge was basically the social discrimination that you face working on a very taboo subject. And that too in 1988 when I was hardly 17 years old. Thirdly, and very importantly, since this whole subject is not of charity work only, it involves basically crime and criminals. This is almost the second largest illegal trade in the world today, human trafficking. So we get a lot of attacks from the traffickers and brothel keepers. Officially, I think we have on record more than 27 attacks. Basically, people get lured or trafficked because of certain reasons. Firstly, it is poverty, gender inequality. Then you have the whole intergenerational prostitution where culture plays a role. Then we also have the Devdasi system where religion plays a role. So, and of course there is kidnapping and trafficking. So there are very many dimensions of trafficking as to how it happens, and sometimes girls are also lured in the name of jobs and marriages, etc. Also, rescue operations basically are divided into three categories. They involve like three levels of work basically. Firstly, it is the pre-rescue management of things, then it is basically after rescue, and then it is basically post-rescue. So in the pre-rescue, we do recce operations, we collect evidences. So we have to do that homework. And secondly, at the rescue time, we have to make all the preparations for giving water, food, clothes, etc. to the rescued survivors. And third and most important aspect is basically the post-rescue part, where the girls are counseled, they're taken care of, the health part is taken care of, their other requirements and needs are taken care of. And if they need witness protection, we work on the witness protection part also. We also take up their legal cases right from the district court to the Supreme Court. The most terrifying case that I've come across was the Allahabad case, where we rescued almost 130 women and children from the brothels of Allahabad district in Uttar Pradesh. We came to know that almost 100 minor girls have been trafficked. So, but before we moved any further, we undertook a spy cam evidence collection. It took me 11 months to document all at least minimum 70 minor girls trapped in the brothels and who were trafficked from various parts of the country like Bengal, Bihar, etc. And South India as well. And the first time when we rescued, we were ourselves locked in the Basahi police mandi in Allahabad, and ultimately it turned to be a failure. But the second time when we did, again through a public interest litigation in the Allahabad High Court, we were very successful. So this took several years, and it's still continuing. The case is still continuing in the courts. As far as the success stories are concerned, we have hundreds of success stories. The most prominent one is basically one of the girls is running our education center in the red light area of Varanasi, and she's helped us create Varanasi as the first child prostitution free red light area in the country. There are plenty of challenges in rescue and rehabilitation actually, because as I've already said, this whole organized crime of sex trafficking and child prostitution is basically run by a criminal nexus involving traffickers, brothel keepers, pimps, police, the politicians, and the local mafias. It is just not limited to just mere charity work. It goes beyond that. As far as the rehabilitation goes, of course it's a challenge because of social discrimination. Making a living outside the world of sex trade is pretty difficult. As far as law is concerned, it is good enough. I would say nothing is perfect, but still whatever we have, it is fine. But the basic problem is of implementation. You need the spirit, you need the soul to implement. Society as a whole must accept the survivor. I think we must accept them. There should be no discrimination. I think that is the best role that society can play.